Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of A Contagious Smell Unstoppable. I don't even know where to begin. If you listened to the last episode that we just released, I told you with, my husband that I had a amazing opportunity to sit down with this beautiful woman, Danielle, who did something for me that I can never repay her for. And that was to give me an opportunity to speak, and I am not choking up already. God bless America. To already speak with my grandparents. And everybody knows that they were the light and love of my life and my guardian angels. And she said things that she could not have known. Even my husband did not know some of the things that she stated to me. And I've known my husband 25 years. So I talked about you, Danielle, and I was like, everybody, if you even are skeptical, questionable, wondering, whatever, tune into this episode, listen to it for yourself. I will be the guinea pig again. I've got to beg you, plead. I would put my hands in a praying motion. By the way, everybody, she didn't know I was an amputee. I'm going to ask her to tell that little part again when she had, I can't even do it. So I'm going to ask her to come back on multiple times. Her husband, this other beautiful golden ticket, just joined in at the last minute of my request, and we're going to just have an amazing experience today. I'm still trying to learn how to pronounce his name, and I don't want to insult him, so I have to have him identify himself. And for that, I am sorry. Welcome, both of you guys. Give us your name. I'm going to get it, I promise.
Well, I'm Danielle Worthen Columber. I'm a LCSW. I'm a trauma therapist and owner and founder of Gvnage Wellness, and not just a trauma therapist here in Utah. I am also a psychic medium, and this is my lovely husband, and I will let him introduce himself.
So I'm Gvnage Mishipeshu, and how it's spelled is Gvnage. Gvnage. It's actually Cherokee for black or void. I know I'm a person who just doesn't want to be around. So I'm Gvnage Mishipeshu, which is both tribes of Cherokee and Chippewa. It comes from my father's side. My mother is actually Irish Italian, so that's why I'm a little white-skinned a little bit, but my skin's actually more olive than anything else. But anyway, I am also a medium and psychic and intuitive and medicine man and indigenous and very practical with how the earth works, and I'm very familiar with Wicca and different religions like Judaism and Christianity. I grew up in the church, and so there
Much church.
much church, very
LDS.
very much church, and so I've learned to kind of adapt my culture, my ancestral culture into what I have learned growing up, going through like Boy Scouts and different trainings like that. I've gone to college. I didn't really go to college like Danny here. I went to a public school and ended up going to over to a technological school where I got a few degrees, not really degrees, more like certificates and stuff. Like just like in Reiki, I've learned how to use the energies around me and use the animals as different forces because everything has a spirit.
Yes, yes. I love that. And one of the things is, and my husband will tell you, I do not have the ability to lie. When I try to lie, I smile, my face shows it. It is not, even in school growing up, I couldn't. And it was really not fair because, I couldn't be like, yeah, I did my homework. I didn't. I could never get away with it. So the reason I'm saying that is because I'm going to just put myself out there. We're doing this on video. I'm going to put myself out there, and I want everybody to see the amazing, heartwarming things that I saw when I had Danielle for just a minute earlier on. And because there are a lot of skeptics out there. There are people out there that think this is hogwash and it's not real.
Yep.
And at one point in my life, I believed it too. And I shared with Danielle about an incident when I was 19, when I had gone with a coworker out of state and I had an interaction with my grandfather. And that was my first interaction of this nature. And I was like, but then I was like, oh, wow. And over the years, I've had, mediums come on and I've talked to them and I was like, oh, that's great. This is what you do. But inside, I'm like, no, I'm still not there. She blew me away. Like she blew me out the water. I think the best way to start is you got to like kind of summarize the whole thing that you and I shared and about the hand and all. And then we can just start from there.
Okay. Well, Victoria was so welcoming, and I ended up connecting with her grandparents and had things messaged to her that she'd been so needing and wanting to hear. Now, I don't know anything about her. I really don't. So this was a complete cold read. And for those of you who don't know what cold read is,
I
basically
was
a
just gonna
blank
ask you.
slate.
Blank slate.
Blank slate. And at one point, I asked her, I go, I don't know what this is, but it's some I put my hands on top of it. Something about the hands. I was like, I like somebody was like trying to hold hands. I didn't know. It was kind of confusing because everything's cryptic and I have to kind of put puzzle pieces together. And then Victoria held up her arm and I go, shut the front door. I did not know about her hand. And even for me as that's gifted, I'm still flabbergasted with some of the information that comes through. And it's kind of like you got the trick, but then they give you the real information that validates it. So it validates that the information I'm getting is not just made up out of my head.
Right, right.
So I think that's the biggest thing when developing my gifts was trusting the information that was coming in and not questioning it and just kind of going with the flow. And even that was like, okay, I told the guy going,
A lot of us struggle with that when once
yeah,
we get into a type of mediumship or even just meditating. Because a lot of people, when they sit down and meditate, they think, oh, I gotta think about this one particular thing when I meditate. No, you don't have to think about anything when you meditate or
yeah,
doing yoga or just stretching or it's a exercise that we constantly do on a regular basis to help strengthen our hearing, help strengthen our sight, help strengthen our vocals, help us strengthen our thoughts. It's an exercise that we do on a regular basis that sometimes we don't even think that we're doing. And
yeah,
suddenly we get in tuned with someone, and then they're like, wait, I'm actually being triggered now.
yeah.
And then they start looking at you and like, wait, do you see me? Like, I see you. Do you see me? I see you.
That was
It's, you know,
funny.
what's so amazing is, and this is not something I've shared with anyone outside of my husband and my daughter, is that when I went in, like I have a daughter who has special needs and she's had 54 surgeries. And I swear on my life that my guardian angels, my grandparents have gotten her through this. And when I got out of the ICU and I finally got to her, she was life flighted to Children's Hospital. I had a picture of my grandparents in the incubator with her, and I've always had pictures in every room. But when I had to go in for my amputation, I don't take Versed before I go back to the OR. I do not, and I have never taken a single pain medication after any surgery, ever. Amputation, I have 26 pieces of metal in my face. I call my Frankenstein scars and on both sides. And I'm being wheeled in to the OR and I see all the saws and the devices and the drills. And they even have that device that the men have to hold the tools, that clamp. They put your shoulder in so that it doesn't fall off while they're removing your arm. And I'm in there and I'm no medication, right? And I have the same team. Now, I'm one of these people, this doctor, this surgeon has done at this point like 18 surgeries on me. And I go in there and I always bring cookies before I go on, in for an OR because I have the same team and I'm always like, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for taking care of me. Make sure I get back to my family. And I always keep my composure because, like, especially my daughter, she feeds off of me. And before we
Right.
went back, my daughter asked the surgeon, and at that time,
Your
she
daughter's in her teens, right?
she is, but mentally she's like 10, 11.
That's what
And
I was
so,
gonna. That's what I was gonna ask. Like, she seems like she's like 14, but she acts like she's like 9 or 10.
yes, she asked the
See,
surgeon,
cold
I
read.
know, she asked the surgeon if he would take her arm and
Oh,
transplant it onto mine. And
Oh,
right before I go back, and I'm like, oh my God, no. And she's like, no, because mom, you've always held me and you've always carried me, and I want you to have my hand. And like everybody is in waterworks. And I said, absolutely not. So I'm trying to hold together and I get back into the OR room and all of the nurses are there and the team is there. And I lost it. Like I had a moment of like release right before. And I was like, how do I say goodbye to my hand? And they said, you have to grieve it like it's a loss, like it's a death.
mhm.
And I was like, this is the hand that held my daughter's hand when she was in the incubator. This is the hand that held my daughter's hand through all of these surgeries and codes and seizures and, you know, all these operations. This is the hand that held my grandparents' hand when my grandmother died. And how do I say goodbye to that? My surgeon comes in and he is an Asian man. He's bawling. The whole team is bawling. And I am like, and you know, she's going to say, she said to me when we spoke early last week, she said, stop saying I'm sorry, Victoria, stop it. Like she said, I'm saying it too much. And after we spoke, I
That
thought
was the
about it.
grandmother, not me. I just
No.
want to
Well,
get
after
She
we
says, I'm
talked,
sorry a lot. And so
a-
she had to learn not to do it. I'm like, stop saying you're sorry.
but
well,
yeah, so your doctor came in.
he comes in crying. And after you and I spoke, I thought about it and I went, oh my God, because I'm laying there and here comes my surgeon and he's all scrubbed up and all I see are his eyes and he's crying. And he's like, I have children and neither one of my children would ever offer me, you know, anything, yet alone their hand and arm. And I was like, I just need a minute. I'm so sorry. I know y'all have other patients waiting. And they were like, no, you are all we have today and we are here to take care of you. And I had one lady, one nurse who was wiping my eyes and she was crying and she goes, I'm so sorry, I'm washing your face. Like she's over me wiping my face and she's crying down on my face. And the other nurses are crying. And I cried. I don't even know how to explain the heaviness of my crying. Like I couldn't catch my breath. They had to give me oxygen. And I was like, I'm losing my hand that held my grandparents. I'm losing the hand that held my daughter. And I was so taken and I was like, I'm so sorry I'm holding y'all up. And I kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm letting everybody down. I'm so sorry. And they were like, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. And they were like, you've got to catch your breath before we can start. And I just kept thinking, I'm losing this hand that meant so much to me. And when she came on and she was talking about hands and she was talking about stop saying you're sorry so much, it was so like I was just dumbfounded by her gift. And so, you know, this is amazing. There are so many people out there who say they can do it. You know, it's like making a cake. Okay, I learned how to make a cake. There's 15 ingredients and I did it. And now I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
I am the $1 million baker now, right? But they're not. They just did it for the first time. You are like the real thing. You are the real thing. And I am just so in awe. And so I'm gonna just totally open myself up to the both of you, as scary as it is. I want all of the listeners to know this was not suggested or talked about beforehand. This is just spur of the moment. I'm putting myself out there. I have no idea what they're going to say. I want them to be authentic. I know that they will be. I want to show you how amazing these people are. I'm going to make sure that you guys can reach out to them. And I think it is so important that they're available to everybody. And I want you to see for yourself just how gifted and amazing these two human beings are. So no matter what comes out, I am putting myself out there and I'm ready for it.
Well, first of all, Victoria, the vulnerability is is your vulnerability, but vulnerability in general is underappreciated,
Yeah.
and we want to be respectful to any trauma responses that may come in. And that's another thing is we want to be trauma informed as even though we're telling you the truth,
Right,
we
absolutely.
present it in a way that
But you also got to take in consideration that this is also going to be a type of a medicine of healing also.
That's
and
why I want to showcase y'all's talents because I'm very open about the drama and trauma I went through in my abuse. I'm very open about that. I am not, I'm very private when it comes to my grandparents and things of that nature. So whenever y'all find I'm prepared for it because I'll do whatever I can to help other people. I went through all this alone and I don't want anybody else to ever have to go through it, yet alone go through it alone. So I'm a very ugly crier. I'll tell you all that ahead of time, and I'm so sorry, but I'm doing this on video, so I might get the ugly crier of the Millennium Award, but let's just
Well, let's start with something I think a little more fun. I'm gonna start with something with a little light that came in, and I was like picking up something about your husband about something. I can't decide. It's like you both do something that annoys each other, but it's almost like they do it on you do it on purpose just to get the laugh because you know it gets your guts going laughing because it kind of lightens the mood of the seriousness. So as like I almost see like this interplaying, but I can't hear what it is. It might be something he's doing, like in action.
Mirroring off you?
I could be. We might be mirroring off me. Yeah, that's probably true.
So anyway,
He's calling me out too.
keep
he
going.
is. I love it.
Keep going.
This is up. So, but okay, so I'm seeing your husband like playing with the dogs, but like you're trying to like get him to stop playing with the dogs because you need like quiet or something. And he's like, I'm not listening, I'm playing with the dogs, and he's like annoying you.
Yeah,
So,
we've never had an argument in 25 years. We're best friends, and he does. We always, like, my daughter and him prank each other every day, and it is hysterical from the outside. Like the movie Grumpy Old Men, that's the two of
oh
them.
yes, yes.
I mean, like, she'll walk by him and be like, reformed whore, reformed slut, tramp, and he'll be like, virgin, and she's like, and she's mentally like right on, like even in middle school she was reading on a college level, but cognitively she's delayed. But
Yeah.
she is hysterical. She's written books and she does all these things, but we'll be out somewhere, and like we went to the drugstore the other day and she's like, dad, they don't have any suppositories for constipation. Do you also need any Depends while we're here? And then she'll be like, is your STD meds ready? I have to
Oh
go.
my
Like,
gosh.
these are things that we do. Like the best one was they went to, and Eric Winter from The Rookie and her are friends, and they talk about all the time how to prank my husband. So she was like, oh, I got a gift card and I want to give it to my dad because he's the best dad ever. So he FaceTimes her and he was like, oh, sweetheart, this is so sweet. I'm going through Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to get a coffee. And I don't know about it. She won't tell me because she's like, your face will tell that it's a prank. So she's FaceTiming and she has the straightest face. And she was like, Dad, I really want you to enjoy your coffee and your donut. Have a good breakfast, whatever. And then he was like, my baby girl, give me this. And he hands the card over. And they're like, sir, this isn't even activated. There's nothing on the card. And she's cracking up now. And he goes, what? And she's like, yeah, there's nothing on the card. This isn't active. And he's like, Peanut. And then she raises up and goes, I bet you want your wallet. This is stuff that she does all the time. They do this to each other all the time. And so, yeah, when I can, I try to get in there and do it. My husband, when right after my amputation, I didn't want to go anywhere. I was embarrassed and ashamed. And my husband's like, come on, let's just go for a walk. So we went into a store and he was like, where are you going? And I pointed like this. I'm like, I'm going over there. And he goes, oh, is that all half off?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And I was like, I could tell you there's no more handouts.
Oh, you guys are sassy like us.
We
Oh my
are.
gosh.
We are. And that's what
Great.
makes it fun, you know?
What year is your daughter born?
2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that I was like, so she's got to at least be like close to 20, 21.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's born, my youngest son is a 2006.
So,
So, yeah.
what month?
August
August.
8th.
She's a Leo.
He's biased. He's a Leo.
I'm a bias. I'm a Leo.
When's your
Sorry.
birthday?
But she's going to be a little.
His July 28th.
I'm July 20th. I'm the superstar.
I love it. I love it.
But no, with your daughter, she's very, I don't want to say autistic, but she's very in that frame of she has emotions and feelings that she can express, but she doesn't know how to express it unless she actually writes it down.
Did your face said a lot right there.
Unless she writes it down, she doesn't know how to express her feelings. And that is normal for Leos in the beginning of like, because there's three different Leos, there's three different Aquariuses, there's three different Cancers. These are emotions and feelings that people go through. Like for me, as I said, this superstar, the guy who goes out and like huzzah, while she's like, I want a huzzah, but I'm gonna do it like Freddy Krueger, huzzah. like it's almost like, where in the world did that come from? It's like it's out of the blue, like light bulb, I just pulled it. Ha, got your nose. Because that's how she is. And that's why what month is your husband born?
May.
So that is a Taurus.
Oh, he's a Gemini.
Oh, even
He's about to have his birthday. Okay.
So he knows how to flip the switch with her.
Yeah. Oh my God, he always says that phrase. I'm flipping the switch.
Because Gvnage know how to do that. 6, 7. He knows how to
Oh,
flip the switch. He knows how to play the game. He's the guy who, because Gemini's know how to do that. They're one motion 1 minute, then they're another motion another minute. They look like they're on some type of spectrum, but in reality they're not. That's how they are. They know how to play the part in one area, and when they go to another area, they know how to play that part. They know how to adapt it very, very easily.
I've never met this man before today. He's
No.
never met my husband. He's never met my daughter. And he is so spot on that I am like,
And you were like dumbfounded by me, and now you're like, there's two of us.
I want y'all on retainer. Like, I mean, seriously, because wow, oh my God. Like, yes, because my daughter is such a strong advocate. She won an Emmy for her story. She doesn't like to be in the limelight, but like, she has all of these celebrities that come out and say, would you interview me? She has her own show. And, we were in the ICU and she had the cast of Blue Bloods on. And she told the doctors,
Whoa.
do not come in while I'm on my interview. And, she's
Right.
talking to them and when we're there at the hospital, she'll see somebody and she'll be like, oh, when you get your trach taken out, it'll look like this because she had a trach. But she's so shy. And she said, like, every single day I tell her how beautiful she is and how they told her she'd never talk, she'd never walk, she wouldn't survive, she wouldn't live. 2 years ago, we almost lost her again. Like, I take her to the emergency room and they told me we're going to keep her comfortable and let her go peacefully. And I was like, listen, I'm going
Oh,
to ship
hell no.
you to the hospital across the street because she's going nowhere. And she ended up being so sick that she had to have over 24 surgeries in the ICU at bedside. They couldn't even take her down. They left her open. They left her stomach open. They took 70% of her intestines. She has a scar from her breastbone to her pelvic bone, and it's this wide all the way around. Like, she doesn't even have a belly button anymore. And I'm like, I'm so jealous. That is such a badass scar. Oh my God, because
I have 2 belly buttons.
see, you're gonna have to meet her. So like, I'm like, you are so amazing. They put her in a medically induced coma. She went into full organ failure, complete organ failure. I'm already in the process of doing my kidney donation. I'm
Been
going
there,
through the
done
whole
that.
thing. I'm going through the whole thing. And all I did was pray and pray and pray. I was talking to my grandparents like nonstop. Like I have a direct line. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know you're so busy, but I can't. And we had the chaplain coming in going, she might not be able to let go until you tell her. And I'm like, well, I'm not letting go. I can't let go. I cannot. I can't
I
function
sorry
without
to
her.
interrupt, but I literally heard we had it in the bag. It's almost like they're like we had. It's almost like
Because the ancestors do. They have it in the bag.
that they have it in the bag, and they're like going. It's almost like we had to make the bells and whistles go off to get the attention of what is about to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we fought and fought. And when she
Yeah.
came through, I had a board for her so she could write. And the first thing she wrote is, I miss my mom hugs.
Oh.
And I have a picture of it. And so they were like, you cannot get in the bed with her. And I'm like, what's gonna happen if I get in the bed with her? I'm not gonna stimulate her, but she can feel me. That's what kangaroo care is. And it's so critically important. And I'm getting in that bed. And if you don't like it, you can round over and kiss my badonkadonk because I'm getting in the bed. So I got in the bed with her. When she came out of the coma, like she told me, Mom, I remember you singing over me. And she told me what I sang. She said, I remember your tears on my face. And then she wrote a book for other kids who have been through something like this. And it became a bestseller. And it was like, and it's written at that level for them to understand too. And like, just when you sit there and I'm like, I can't imagine life without her. Like I tell her my greatest honor in life is being her mom. There's not a doubt in my mind. Like she is the most amazing thing. She came home one day. She'd gone out with my husband and she came home. She goes, Mom, I did something for you. And I was like, okay. And I'm like looking around and she got this most beautiful tattoo on her arm. And it is a heart and the heart has scars on it and it has wings around it. And it says, she calls me her Karamia. And she goes, my Cara Mia. And it says, my idol, my hero, my warrior. And it's on her arm. And she got it tattooed for me. And I had no idea. So we went to her gastroenterologist 2 weeks ago And she had a feeding tube for 16 years of her life. They told her she'd never eat by mouth. She has a non-functional, basically non-existing tongue, so people couldn't understand her. Her tongue's about 2 millimeters. The anatomy is completely different in her mouth, way in the back. She's eating, she's drinking. We got rid of the feeding tube after having it for 16 years. They gave it back to her when we almost lost her, and they told her that's it. She's going to have to keep it. It's gone. So we went to the gastroenterologist not even 2 weeks ago, and we walk in, and she hates him. She calls him Dr. Diarrhea. And we go in there, and he's like, "You don't need me anymore. Like, we told you you were going to be followed by this for the rest of your life, and we're discharging you. You don't need us anymore." And he's like, "The only thing, she has kidney disease now because of kidney failure, but we were at a stage 4 kidney disease, and then when we left, we were at a stage 1, and nobody can understand. Like, we were on dialysis 24 hours a day in the hospital. We were trying to figure out how we were going to do dialysis 4 days a week. We were getting me ready to do a transplant. We come home and she's at a stage 1, no transplant, no dialysis, no Brockline, no Swan, no nothing. She's eating like you and I, like, can't even begin to understand."
So I did get something. I don't. This is going to be a weighted delay, so you might have to put this in your memory bank. I heard something about 22. I don't know if it's something's going to happen when she's 22 or something happened when you were 22, but I heard age 22.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. It's kind of like the hand thing. It's kind of like this mystery feeling that I have, and it's like something huge. But I feel it's more her.
Not really huge, but it does. It is going to have some small impact.
Yeah. We don't know if it's her health or there might be a
No, it has nothing to do with her health.
See, this is why we work together. So
It has nothing to do with
Please
her
don't
health.
scare me like
Her
she's
health
gonna
will actually
pass
be
at 22.
perkier
Yeah.
than normal when she's 22. When she does turn 22, there is going to be a lot of things that she's going to start building.
And she's not going to pass, right? This isn't.
No.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to tell you. Something is going to shift. Like it's kind of like not a warning.
For example, she writes a new book. The book explodes
more than
what she was writing before. Or maybe she starts a podcast. The podcast explodes.
She already has
Something
a podcast.
around when you turn 22, you learn to build. You learn to be the master builder of your own reality of what you actually want. Like for me, when I was 22, I moved out of my parents' basement and I moved out to Salt Lake and I met my ex-wife and I learned about crystals. I learned about Wicca. I learned about all these spiritual things. Even though I was indigenous and I went to powwows and rendezvous and stuff like that, and I've learned so much when I was 22 where I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually my company. Like, no, this is actually what I'm supposed to be doing. Even though I've worked in kitchens, I've worked in factories, I've worked in different restaurants just to pay bills, just to get by.
Yeah.
But I've slowly learned over time of, okay, this is how this works. This is how that works. Start connecting the dots. And suddenly you're like, oh, once you start manifesting this, you start manifesting this, and huzzah, you get this. For example, I was camping up near South Willow Lake.
It's down by Great Salt Lake.
It's down by Great Salt Lake. It's almost like 15 minutes out of Wendover. It's a little small town called Grantsville, and they have this big, huge mountain, and it has a canyon and everything. So I decided to go.
Last weekend.
She freaked out. It's like, don't go.
That's
don't
just last
do
weekend.
it.
I've heard about this.
Don't do it. You're gonna die. And all the kids are like, you're gonna die, Dad. I'm like, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up there.
I'm still human. I'm gonna have my own biases.
Of course.
Human too. I'm gonna have my own thoughts and feelings about this too. And I went up there. I'm like, okay, ancestors, I'm here. What do you want to say me? What do you want to tell me? I had one Navajo guy come up and just welcomed me. It's like, welcome.
Spirit-wise?
Spirit-wise.
Okay.
He told me welcome in Navajo. I was like, okay, because I heard the word in my head, and I was like, okay, I have to look this up, and I had to look it up, and it's like, it's greetings. You're here. I'm like, okay, I'm here. What do I supposed to be doing, ancestors of this land or that land?
And is a lot of Navajos, so that makes sense.
Utah has a lot of Navajos and Utes and the Shoshone up in Idaho and northern Utah. But going back to my story, so I'm traveling through the woods, pretty much getting lost. I'm lost in the wilderness for 2 days.
Literally lost.
Literally lost. I'm trying to figure out what my purpose is. And I already have a purpose, but my next goal, my next achievement. I'm 33 years old. What do I supposed to be building? What do I supposed to be doing here? Because we have these big events that happen through our lives on certain periods of our life, 22, 33, 11. We have these special moments or special birthdays. Some people call them gold birthdays or something, silver birthdays. We can get that later. But when I was up there, I was like, okay, ancestors, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, how do I supposed to help the world? What do I supposed to understand? And the understanding when I was up there is being not so much true to yourself, but being true for the people around you. Because in Anishinaabe or Ojibwe or Chippewa, my tribe, we believe in the seven grandfather teachings of love, honesty, truth, bravery. And we label, it's not labels, they're lessons. And once we get into these lessons of how can we be truthful to ourselves? How can we be more loving to ourselves? How can we show bravery to other people of, hey, this is what I do, and this is how I can help you. Instead of, yeah, I do this and this and this, and you get those people like they kind of nitpick at everything, but they don't really stay on that one task, like they have ADHD or something. They just da 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 da. And when I was up there, I was like, okay, I don't want to be that type of person that had ADHD and go da 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 and just throw my hands up and just like whatever. No,
Right.
I wanted to go up there and learn and absorb the earth and what it needs to teach me, and it taught me a lot. How to be brave, how to be strong, how to be up there by myself, spooked out
Yeah.
because I'm there by myself. It's starting to snow. I'm like, okay, ancestors, show me the way. And they did. It's like, follow the ridge. And once you get down to the ridge, you're going to get down to this dry bed. You're going to climb down it, and that'll lead your way home. I'm like, man, I'm like almost out of water. I'm thirsty. I'm dehydrated. I'm like almost dying from hypothermia when I was up there.
It's so cold.
It was so cold. Even my kids told me, he's like, you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, it's a lesson I needed to learn. And these are the things that we personally go through of losing an arm or losing a hand or losing your mind over the small things, just so we can learn the lessons of, oh, what did that really teach me? Of, I don't, I'm not weak.
Right.
I'm strong either way. It doesn't matter if I have 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It doesn't matter of where I'm at with my life. I can absorb the energy. And every time you hold up your arm, I think of a Doctor Strange when he was like, "Well, I can't do it because my hands are broken." And he pulls out this other guy who has no hands, and he does the magic just perfectly.
Yeah. I tie my own shoes, which blows people's mind. Like I tie my shoes. I open a bottle. Like I open a bottle of jelly or jam or whatever. But I have to tell you, I have to validate something that you said. When you were talking about my daughter, like she writes poetry. She writes her feelings through poetry, and it's all based in horror. Like, and she loves Freddy Krueger. I'm not kidding. She loves horror. Every Saturday night is father-daughter movie night, and they watch horror movies. So like one night they're like, "Oh, you gotta come watch it," and I'm like, "No, no, thank you. I am not a horror movie fan." So like, no, and they pranked me, little turds, and they're like, "No, you gotta come down here." So I'm like, "No, but I'll come get some more on sweet tea." So I go downstairs, and they had stopped the movie, waiting on me to come down, and it was Saw. And when I came
Oh
down,
no.
they
Oh my
had
gosh.
it paused where the man got amputated arm. I'm like,
Oh
that's
my
not funny.
gosh.
Mom, you
That's
gotta
not
watch
funny.
this. This guy's getting his arm taken off.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, that's not okay. That's not okay.
And so this is great because the 22 thing was great because you get to see her progress to this and you don't have to say a word. You get to be the mom to see this unfolding and you go, I'm so glad I got to foreshadowing. So you can actually sit back and go, that's my baby. That's
I
my
did
baby.
this. I
Do you
made that.
Do you think she'll ever find like
She's gonna have a boyfriend, but he's gonna
she's
be awkward like her.
beautiful. She's
Yeah.
so physically beautiful. And I've told her every single day, you're beautiful, you are such a great person. And then she's like, who's ever gonna want me? Because, I have this small tongue and
Well,
I eat different and
this is something that you could tell her. First off, she's gotta want herself. She's
well,
gotta
she knows
work.
she's hot. She'll tell you she's a beautiful girl. Like I've made sure that she has that self-esteem.
But sometimes when we actually have that self-esteem, sometimes we burn a little too hot with it,
Especially Leo's.
especially Leos. We do. We burn a little too hot. We're like, oh, I'm so fabulous. I'm so this. But in our back of our minds, we think so negative about ourselves. Like, oh, I bet that's what people think of me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so hot. I'm so smart. I'm so this. I'm so that. But in reality, we're like, am I? Am I really? I'm like,
Well,
yeah, I guess.
she's very little. She's petite. She's a preemie. And so she's very small. And so like we'll go out places and she tries to dress. She dresses very gothic to a degree. And like people will think that they'll hand her a kids menu, because she has she looks small and she just looks at them and she's always been spicy and sassy. Like always, like when she
Am I
had a trait that
spicy?
she was
Am I sassy?
inaudible, when she was inaudible, and the doctor would come in and be like, I got to change your trach, she'd give him the finger at like 2
I
and
would
3.
too.
And I used to cover for her. I taught her sign, and then she had apraxia. So B's, P's, M's, she couldn't say. And then with the tongue not being functional, she couldn't say like I need because the tongue couldn't touch the roof of the mouth. So I would teach her I want. So, she'd say, I want a pencil or, something like that. So I remember we were one time at the hospital, we were 5, she was 5, and the doctor comes in and he's being such a turd. And she was like, okay, apple. And he goes, what did you say? I said, she said apple. She said apple. And she goes, Mom, I said asshole. I didn't say apple. I said asshole. And because they couldn't understand her, I'm like, she said apple. She said apple. And she's like, no, Mom, no, I said asshole. And so then she starts signing it, to the doctor.
Oh,
And I'm like, see, here I am thinking mommy words. I can sign bad language and I'm good because, right? So she picked up all mommy's bad word signs and she goes to the doctor. She's like, asshole, and I'm like, oh. But I've always taught her, you protect and defend yourself. You never start it, you finish it, and so she does. And she is my inspiration. She is the reason that I get up and do what I do because she's such a rock. I mean, she really is. She's just amazing. People who meet her and get around her, they say that their whole life changes just from being around her. So when we're done, I'll have her come in and you guys can just meet her for a minute. But her aura is so infectious. It really is. And I feel like she's very old spirit. Like that's what you get when you're around her.
And you actually might have noticed this, but she may have not have said this, but some of your listeners may be like kind of like iffy about it. I think she's actually sees like fairy lights a lot. And I call them fairy lights because of like the colored lights. I don't know if they really are fairies or they're spirit fairies, but they're like fairy lights. And she follows them. Like kind of like cats can see stuff that's not there. She's aware of it, but because she's has that broody moody, like almost like a Scorpio. Broody moody. Guess that's a good way to put it. It's like she has to have her own little secrets that she doesn't share with people.
Yes. Yes.
And something about Ngange, who's pointing out, he's connecting really deeply with your daughter because he was a preemie and he almost died because of lack to thrive. And so when he said he has 2 belly buttons, he actually has he has several scars from feeding tubes for his stomach. And he will never have a flat stomach because it's all scar tissue. And he really should not have been here.
no.
What a miracle.
If I was born in Africa, I would not have been here. That's what my mother always tells me. Boy, if you were born in Africa, you would never been here.
Yeah. But growing up he would scoot and pull out his feeding tube out of his belly. So he's like having some we call it counter transfers where you relate to the
Yeah.
somebody. So it's really, really cool because as you said that I said something and he came in
Yeah.
with all the information. That's one of the things that I guess is kind of a special thing with both of us is we will get two pieces of information and then we'll splice it together and to go, oh, this is what's coming in. Like I will get like he'll get one tone and I'll get the whole reading, or I'll get a tone and he'll get the whole reading. So it kind of is almost like we're mirroring each other so we can see a bigger picture. We don't get all the information.
Sure.
It's so neat.
For me, it's like looking through a peephole. I can see what is going on in the hallway, but once you start moving this way or that way, I don't, I can feel you. I can tell you that there's someone there because I can see like shadows or little sparkly lights or something. But over time, it's just like after working with Danielle, it's like, oh wait, I have another person who has another people.
And one of my things is I can actually zoom out and see a bigger picture, but not all the details. Or if I can zoom in, it's like a camera that goes in and out. So it doesn't meet in the middle. It's like I can get like feelings of like eyesights or gestures or even and you saw the words and the words and stuff.
Nice.
And I don't get the full information because it used to be I could see the shape of the person, but I couldn't see their face, or I could see their face, but not what they look like. It's like it's fractal, literally
Yes.
fractal.
Very fractal.
And so we kind of connected. We're like, wait, I'm seeing it, but I'm seeing it from this lane. During COVID, we had the most amazing conversation about it because I knew him. I met him on the first day holistic group that I was learning because I was doing some self-care because of trauma and stuff. And that's another story we can bring in. But I remember hearing him talking about what he was seeing, people falling down like all over, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
was really, really good. I remember being on the other side of that phone call because we were on speakerphone, and I start laughing at him. Go, it's just a flu. People are dying like the flu, and that's how I saw it. And then we
Right.
actually had a conversation, and I was like, I was gaslighting his prediction. I was gaslighting his prediction from what I was seeing. But when we finally sat down and go, hey, okay, let's talk about this. I was seeing this, you were seeing that. And when we looked together, it was like, no, we were seeing everything correctly, but we were speaking,
Looking at different perspectives.
yeah, from our learned experiences, how our body understood it, because we know what COVID was.
Yeah.
And this was at the beginning. And but the numbers were equal to how many people died of the flu every year.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Because I was driving to a temp job at that time, and I saw this guy pass out in the middle of him working. It's just a normal construction worker. I was ready to pull over, and suddenly I blink and look back again. He was just shoveling away. I'm like, what in the world is going on? I'm like,
Yeah.
that was scary.
And he called in.
I called the group. I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on, but quit eating meat.
Keep doing this. He was panicking.
Keep doing what you're doing, but stay away from the meat. Stay away from this. Stay away from that. Stay away from this. And yet she's looking at me. It's like, who is this person?
It's like, what is he? It was
What
like,
is he talking about?
and mind you, though, that was actually a time when I was just really starting to embrace my gifts. I was actually learning how to work with it because I was in my master's program for social work and I was trying to be a trauma therapist.
Right.
But I also had to learn to work with my gifts because I was getting information, but I didn't know how to regulate myself, how to deal with my own traumas, and I was supposed to show up for them. And if I can get information, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
Right.
So I was learning these things, and when he came in with over the phone, I was seeing this whole picture, and I realized the way I walk into things is gently. So by reframing it to a flu versus the bigger picture that we all experienced during that time was my way of going, okay, if I had to explain to somebody so I don't put them into shock or into crisis mode or trauma mode, I need to learn how to bridge this communication. And that was one of the beautiful things I learned with work with Nagange over the years was he says it one way, I say another, and we figure out a way to bridge that communication for people
It's
to
a spider
understand.
web.
Yeah, it's all connected. It's all weaving and coding, and it's kind of like computers, ones and zeros. We all have vibrations. We all have energy, and there's the science that back it up. And we come down to it, everyone has ability to be psychic or medium because we are born with it. It's just like we're finding the attunement. It's like your daughter has gifts of communicating in the most spectacular way,
Yeah.
and it's refined just for her because she figured it out.
Yeah.
And
And
really to get you, she's doing a book. I'm going out to Arizona as a guest speaker, as a speaker of a big event, and she's writing a book for it, and it's called Echoes Inside Your Skull.
oh, whoa, that's potent.
And it's all horror poems that she's written.
I gotta talk to her. She's gonna like me because I am a Scorpio.
She's gonna love you. When we get done recording, I'm gonna bring her in for a minute and let her talk to y'all because she's very skeptical. And I was like, there's no way that Danielle would have known the things that she knew ever. And she was like, yeah, but I was like, you gotta meet her. You just have to meet her. But okay, so I gotta ask, because we talked a lot about my husband, we talked a lot about our daughter. What do you get when you read me? What sign am I? Tell me what feeling you get, because I want the listeners to really, this is as raw as it gets.
I love how you put us on the spot. That's what's funny is always when somebody goes put you on the spot and then
Well, he's been spot on. He's been spot on.
I'm just as human like anybody else. When somebody goes, do this, you're like going, whoa, let's pull back. So like science and stuff. He probably will be able to tell you the sign, but if I was coming in, I could literally diagnose some stuff.
You born in the spring or summer?
Neither one.
I see sun. I see a lot of sun.
What state were you born in?
Yeah, what state?
Georgia.
There we go. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm seeing a lot of sun. I'm like, but the season's off. I feel like the season's off. Okay, so you're born in Georgia. Okay.
So
give me a second.
Yeah,
trying to.
Yeah, let him tune in. I don't want to. If my energy goes high, it blocks his. We've kind of learned to do this together as we get quiet.
Your father's a Capricorn, wasn't he? Your
I
father was born in December.
No.
November,
No.
January.
No.
There's only so many months of the year.
I know but your father was born during the winter time.
No.
No?
No.
Wait.
Who was?
What about grandfather?
Mm-mm.
This is gonna be fun.
Someone was born during like the winter. It wasn't Christmas time, but it was like
January?
Like February, January. There's still snow in certain places.
My grandfather was February.
Okay, that's your grandfather's picking up.
Did you love how I said grandfather?
I'm like,
you said your grandfather was your father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So he doesn't know any of this stuff.
No, you don't know anything. So
I do.
Yes.
So, all right, grandfather. Thank you.
He's very dapper, just to warn you.
He is so dapper. He's like a Sean Connery, Clark Gable kind of.
Yeah, it's like he has like this. He has like this weird physique about him, like Sean Connery, like James Bond kind of attitude.
He's very distinct. He was so distinguished. And my grandmother, even in her 80s, she was always put together so beautifully and so classy, but not like snobby and stuck up, but she was just so like radiant and beautiful. Like just, and their love story. I was always like, I want this marriage. This is kind of what I want is what you guys
so Victoria, I have to say before my brain like explodes at me. Sorry, if I have like a knowing and it just keeps tickling me, it will drive me crazy. Sorry.
Just say it.
So your anxiety as a kid, okay. Your anxiety with, oh my gosh. Gotta breathe into this one. Your anxiety made you almost so squirrely, you couldn't sit still, but it's almost like you could have been having ADHD, but it was actually more trauma response to be hyper aware to things that just got to the point where people would have to sit you down and go, sit, read. They would have to break it down to you without it shaming you because you would have shut down so fast.
Yes or no? My biological father, who I call my sperm donor, used to pick me up and put me on top of his armoire in his bedroom and leave me there. And I wouldn't do anything wrong, but I was the black sheep. I got blamed for things that happened when I wasn't even there. And there was an instance like you might be getting where, for instance, he wanted me to go to the swimming pool with him and I didn't want to go. I didn't like how he was. And so he sneezed and I said, God bless you. And he said, if you talk again, every time you say a word, I'm going to pinch you for every word you say. And it was like a few minutes later, he sneezed again and I said, bless you. And he came over and he pinched me twice. And so the next time he wanted to go to the pool, I made myself throw up so I didn't have to go out there with him. And so when I was with my grandparents, like if one of my grandparents were in the hospital and I'm like 8, 9 years old, I stayed from beginning to end. And then I went back with the other grandparent and stayed with them at their house all day, all night, which is unheard of for a kid. But I always was right there with them. And I was always like straight A student and, doing all of this when I was with them. But I never felt like I belonged with my bio family because I was the black sheep.
It's weird because it's like I was getting like that's why I was breathing into it's like having this two conflicting things. Thank you for clarifying. So it's like there was a smartness and then there's like stay still and like so there was this anxiety that you were split and it calmed down my brain. Thank you. One of the things that I get is that you literally would mount with something your grandma would do with cooking. Like I don't know what it was, but it almost smelled, I think it's almost breakfast, but I can't tell. They're not giving me smell, but like this melting, like, oh.
Like butter or something?
You know how some people wake up with coffee? It wasn't coffee, but it's like she'd be baking something and you knew exactly what she was making. It would like wake you up. It's almost like this cozy feeling that only grandma could bring to you.
Like for me, my mom makes gingerbread during winter times and it smells amazing because she makes it from scratch. And so it's that sense.
Smell. It's like that safety of it's
I'm
special.
home.
It's so funny you say that because we would do Sunday dinners and my grandmother had this philosophy that the way to a man's heart is you also feed him. And so there was no men allowed in her kitchen. And so I would be in the kitchen with her and we would be cooking. And then we would every week we went to someone else. Like we went to my biological egg donor and she couldn't cook to save her life. So the joke ongoing was we're going to eat before we go or right after. And then whatever was on the table, my grandfather would put it in a napkin and say, I ate. And then, we would all be like, oh, I don't want to go over there because she couldn't cook. Thank you. And Stucco just came in. So she couldn't cook. And then at night, she would make me rye toast with blackberry and then sometimes bosenberry jelly, which I had never heard of in my life. And to this day, I can tell you where everything was in her house, like everything
sweet.
in the childhood home. And she would give me light and lively milk, which they don't even make anymore. And I would have this
I'm
toast
smelling the butter again.
every night.
So
Well, she put butter on my toast. Come here, Stucco.
So he smelled the butter. I couldn't smell. You validated. That is so
I
cool.
was like, I'm smelling like sweet butter now again. Like it's like on biscuits or rolls or something. It's just like this sweet honey butter.
Nice.
Stucco and Rusty are in here with me. Okay. This is Stucco. This is my
we can't
baby.
see. Almost. Oh,
there we go.
Beautiful.
That's my service dog. This is Stucco, who the kids' book Stucco Squad was based on. This is my baby. This is my sweet boy.
Oh my gosh, he has so much love. Oh my gosh.
This is my baby. Even when I came home, I was worried when I came home from my amputation because he's only a couple months old. He was so loving. He didn't do anything. He just laid right there. He's a little prankster. Whenever my husband tries to get near me, he shoves him away. He won't let him near me. He pushes him. Come here, Rusty. Rusty is my daughter's service dog. And he's so sweet and loving. He's very protective. He's bigger. Come here. Oh, this is Rusty. Come here. Let me see if I can see you.
Oh, much bigger.
And he has a scar going down his nose, and she loves that. And he's got huge paws, but he gently hands them to you every time. I mean, he is the gentlest. We call him the gentle giant.
He looks like he's older, but younger than his age in his eyes. Oh my gosh,
This is Stucco's son.
Ah.
This is Stucco's son. Yeah, he's a good boy. I'm a good boy.
Gosh. Wow.
Rusty's a sweet baby, aren't you?
Oh, beautiful. I hope your people who get to see this and hear this can appreciate these dogs.
And then the two puppies are downstairs and they're sleeping right now. They're 4-month-old white, pure white golden retriever
Wow.
puppies. Yeah.
Yeah, we grounded our cats from coming in here. I didn't want them interrupting.
Okay, I gotta talk to them. I love you. Give me kisses. I love you. Okay, go. He talks.
I'll go
Did
to
you
my
hear him?
clients' houses and the dogs and the cats. They're like, they don't ever respond to anybody, but with you, I'm like, going, of course. I'm not
Did you hear
surprised.
him? He talks.
Uh,
Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm an open book now because I promised the readers that I would let them see how floored I was. Because I'm telling you, I got like all of my listener stuff are gonna just bombard y'all because I'm like, this is it. If you ever wanted to know, this is where you go. This is it. This is where you go. This is authentic. This is what you need to hear. I'm telling you, I was dumbfounded.
Well, the cool thing with us is you actually get the full package. Even if we're not saying we're psychic or medium, we are who we are, and and our lived experiences is the important part. And the communication. I mean, your listeners don't know this. I am a doctoral candidate. I am in my last 2 semesters before my capstone project. I am getting my doctorate in social work. I opened up my own practice in the middle of doing my doctorate. I worked with first responders. I used to work child welfare. I used to be a recreational therapist and a habilitation therapist. I mean, I have experiences, and yet nobody knows the paranormal side stories of these experiences working with my clients, their family, the friends that I've made and still listen to. I mean, I have people that I've crossed over. They still come visit me. I mean, gosh, how lucky is that?
Yeah.
Most of us just want to connect with a loved one or something. I get people that I hadn't spoken to in 2 decades that will just pop up and say hello to me. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like, and it's funny how you be with an old friend, time melts away. And well, time's irrelevant over there. It's all linear, but it really is amazing how you can actually become reconnected with your history, with who you've known, your ancestors, and
Like for example, I saw my cat today.
his cat's dead.
My cat's been dead for
Show him the paw.
oh.
So this
Aww.
So
over here, Tiffany.
that's Tiffany.
I love it.
My daughter's a tattoo artist, and
So he died last year, and
a year ago,
a year ago, and I'll see his shadow come move around the house. Like today, I saw him because I was taking out the garbage. He came out with me with the garbage, and he came back inside, and I saw his little black shadow. He went downstairs. I'm like, oh, hi, Tiff.
we were talking in the garage, and he starts looking around because he feels Tiffany. Tiffany's around, and I have other dad cats here too, but Tiffany loves to make himself known.
Yes.
And
He shows up like this big, huge, flat bulb of an orb, and it's a black orb.
he's a black cat.
He's a black cat. He's going to show himself as a fluffy shadow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was my father. My father passed away 2 months before Tiffany did, ironically. And part of my father's ashes are her. But my father is a trickster and he loves moving things. And I had to tell my dad, we don't stop doing that.
Don't touch anything in the house.
Because
Because he did once we came home. Her son's picture on the wall was laying on the table.
So we came home. We saw the pictures. We were talking about.
I'm like, Danny, did you move this? She's like, move what?
I was in the kitchen.
I'm like,
we come back out. It's sitting on the coffee table.
I'm like, your kid's picture is like sitting right here on the coffee table. You didn't
Not
do
broken.
this? Not broken. Not falling off.
Now the kids were home to do this. And I go, Dad.
Stop it.
I go, we love you. But even that freaks us out.
Yeah, I'll be in the middle of the night and like he'll say something and the light will turn on. And I'm like, aha, and it happens all the time. And like my daughter would say something and she'll go grab a frying pan. And I really see my grandparents in her so much because my grandmother was always like, so, like she would just zing you with the emotion. And my grandfather was the prankster. So like she would grab a frying pan and she goes, don't make me use this. And like she never hit she's never hit anybody. My daughter goes and gets a frying pan. She never met her physically. And we'll go get a frying pan and take it to my husband and be like, don't make me use this.
That's funny.
What? Okay, so you said something's gonna happen to my daughter at 22. What do you get about me? Because now I'm like nervous and scared and antsy, but excited. And
Well, going back to your birthday, let's start with that so I can at least get the energy. So you're not born in the spring, summer, or so you have to be born in fall. You gotta be close to at least a Libra.
I am.
You are? Okay. So August 20.
No, Libra's in October and
No, Libra
September.
starts September 23rd.
Yeah. So I'm
Oh, yes.
thinking I'm thinking you're an early.
Well, I was going to say October because sorry, not October, August. Sorry. Yeah, it's just,
Okay. August is her daughter. So get her daughter's sign out.
okay, there we go. I see a 1 in there somewhere, like 1-5. You
I'm
don't
the
have
first day of a Libra. I'm the 23rd of September.
I was like, it's like going. I was thinking like yeah. Like she's September 1st,
No,
September
September
No, it's not.
23rd.
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 So
That's what I was saying. I was seeing a 1, but now I was seeing a 5. I was like, okay, between 1 and 5. What's between 1 and 5? 2.
yeah, but it doesn't happen.
3.
Yeah, and here's the great part. There are some skeptics going, they're fishing for information just with what we're having. Like
No,
this is really
this is how I work.
This is so Nagange actually
Readers
has
have to be patient and listen because I'm totally believing it and I'm
so
gonna prove it.
Nagange actually has a actual learning disability as well as I do. So we were constantly working with our gifts, but we also have to work with our deficit. I call them deficit, but superpowers with it.
Deficits.
But with me, I have ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD, dyscalculia. So I flip numbers consistently. So I see mirror images really good, and dyslexia.
And I have a learning disability, which
It's documented.
It's documented and everything.
And
I've struggled with it my whole entire life. Like the comprehension of reading. If you tell me a word, I'll understand the word. But if you try to tell me to spell it, I have to look it up. I mean, I probably maybe get half it correct or half not correct. And so
So regardless of this, so you're Libra.
Libra. That's
My daughter is a Libra. And oh my gosh, you're all about justice, but with those, okay, your scales are kind of funny. I'm gonna laugh at this one. It's not even a balance scale. It's like we're gonna tip it to make it look like justice, but I'm gonna weight it down a little, just enough to give you a little, how can I put it? The pressure's a good one but it's almost like it's not like your daughter's where she'll kind of get you, but it's kind of like I'll weigh you down so you feel like you're drowning, but you don't know.
Virgo. Who's Virgo? Do you know anybody with Virgo in your family? Who's the Virgo? They're born like between like August 22nd to September 21st.
I don't know anyone.
You're picking on my brother.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, my brother Jeff's here.
Oh, hi, Jeff. The dead people just once we start clicking in, they start
coming in.
They start coming in.
There's not even there's no boundaries.
There is absolutely no boundaries.
So I mentioned my dad. So my brother came in.
I'm like,
they're like, we want to see. They're like,
we want to see this too.
They're peanut gallery. Anyways, but with you, with the scales, there's still balance, but it's like almost like you have a little bit more weight on one side, so you kind of tip the energy towards what you need. So it's almost like you manifest it, like going, I would like it to go this way, so the energy kind of pushes it that way, even though you want it to be fair and just. But at the same time, you do it in such a way where you do it. I don't want to be held accountable for anything that I may cause to hurt anybody, but if it can go my way, I'm going to set it that way. Okay. Let me rephrase that. You are gentle. You don't cause harm. But you know when something's not right, you want it corrected. And so you're going to do everything in your ability to support that without causing it to
Pull,
fracture.
pull out your mama bear.
Yeah, you pull your mama bear. That's a good way. Thank you.
It's the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
With Libras, they are very protective of what their pack is or what their community is. But once they're kind of off in their own head, same with Leos, we Leos and Libras, we kind of work together on the same mental capacity. Once we start doing something, we get into it, and once that negative talk starts talking, we can't.
You pull back.
We pull back.
So there's that balance. But it's like it is a balancing scales. But when you have to put pressure on one of the scales, it will come and do it. And then when it's not, it doesn't benefit the reason you put it balances back out. You take the pressure off.
Yeah.
Did that
Can you
make
guys,
sense?
yeah. Can you guys see anything happening in the next few years? Like,
Yeah, when is the next book going to come out?
I did I've done like 5 already this year. I did another one that just was Amazon bestseller. I have probably 3 or 4 more coming out this year.
Okay. Well, okay. That was a simple validation right there.
I heard when's the next book coming out? I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like you almost have like another like 3 you haven't written yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you have any of them that are audible?
No.
You might consider doing 2 or 3 as audible because I feel that there is a need for it. And I think a lot more people are going back to
people will
like
listen.
that. And
There's not to put this out there, but there's a lot of people who are, the deaf people and the blind. They want to read your book, but there isn't really any access to it. And so there needs to be a structure where there needs to be access to it, either having a book written in Braille or the possibility of doing the audio thing. You have a group, you have a community that listens to you, but what you want is you want everybody to listen to you,
have access to you.
not just the blacks or the whites or the Chinese or the South Americans.
It's not like not just putting
It's
different
not just
languages.
one people. It's not just one language. It's everybody. If you could put it in like a lot of different languages, I think it'll be a very, very helpful one and very
It's more inclusive.
inclusive. There we go.
He agrees.
Who agreed?
That's
Oh, him?
Rusty.
Oh, Rusty did. Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you, Rusty.
Because what's happening is it's almost like, so you were asking future things. What's going to happen is because your daughter has her own platform, they want her to look at your platform and vice versa. You kind of support each other. It's like these bookends that do a thing. But at the same time, the people like me who's ADHD, the even reading and having an audio actually like speechify does
Speechify.
reads. It helps us maintain the words and it helps us process better and faster. And so those things are being asked for and called for more, especially real voices versus somebody doing AI where they're just reading it to you. They want real actual person doing it.
Like my daughter, we did the Stucco Squad, which is an 11-book series, and these are for kids 4 to 8 years old. And we have Stucco in it, and she is one of the main characters, my daughter is. And in every single book, and here's the irony, especially since I spoke with her, every single book goes through something different. And they're all real life situations. Like one of them is when home is too loud and the child hears and sees the abuse at home and thinks it's their fault. Well, if I did this better, maybe dad wouldn't yell at mom or things like that. Or another book is when, you're being bullied at school, how to handle that. And then all of them we got out and they are on the level of a 4 to 8 year old. So they can comprehend it, understand it. It's at their level. And the one book that I kept trying to get out is called The Fading Color. And it is about a loved one who's crossing over and how to understand the loss of that. And no matter how many times, and it was the same exact format that I put together time and time again, I couldn't get it. I self-published and I couldn't get it to go out. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Because the title's wrong.
Well, it just went live. Like I just got it out.
You just got it.
It did finally go out after I tried it and submitted and submitted and submitted. And then I spoke with Danielle and, and the next thing I know, this is about the passing and I based it on the passing of a loved one and it was a grandmother.
There's a part 2 of that book.
Oh, okay.
It's called The Rainbow Bridge.
Did you just get freaked out or something just with your face?
The Rainbow Bridge is already, oh my God. The Rainbow Bridge is already done. It's in the Stucco Squad and it's about kind of like an invisible string. And it's for the child that has to go from one home to another because of a broken home.
Yeah, there's a part 2 to that.
The Rainbow Bridge is about the child understanding that there's that the invisible connection. Hey, the invisible connection to the parent that they want to be with. And that the child doesn't want to go with the other parent because that other parent's abusive and hurting and, really upsetting the child. And the child doesn't want to go because of that reason. And therefore, there's that Rainbow Bridge.
What I'm kind of hearing, it's kind of funny because it keeps going back to the Rainbow Bridge. It's almost like the story of the other Rainbow Bridge. Like the other Rainbow Bridge. And because you have the dogs, when they pass over, they say they go over the Rainbow Bridge. Yes. So we're talking about loss on even that connection. So that thread you're talking about, it's almost like that story, but that on the other side of the veil.
Well, we have really run over. I want to
I'm so sorry.
Both promise me you're going to come back.
Said sorry.
No, right? You both have to promise me you're going to come back. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to make sure we have everywhere to find you guys out there. I am going to tell everybody they have to tune in for the next part 2 of this. It's going to be amazing. I cannot thank you both for all that you do. And I'm sorry, there it is. When you get bombarded from everybody in my tribe that's like, I want. And they're reaching out to you and you're like, okay, Victoria, for the love of God, like, because there's only so much in a day.
I'm going to enjoy that though.
So just remember us little people. So we were going to have you guys back again. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.